Hey, everybody, welcome back to LettermenRow.com and Bermanology. I am Jeremy Birmingham, your host. And as usual, we're going around talking to Ohio State recruits, targets, commitments, etc. from around the country. Focusing right now primarily on the class of 2022 as we have for the last few weeks. This week, we're going to head down to Pilot Mountain, North Carolina. East Surrey High School prospect Benji Gosnell. Welcome, Benji. How are you?
I'm doing great. Great to be here.
Let's just dive right in, Benji. You got three schools right now standing out in your recruitment. Ohio State's one of them. Can you talk about the Buckeyes, why they're in this top group with Florida and North Carolina for you, and really how they got there?
All right. So it all started back in, I think it was right when all the COVID things hit. Coach Wilson hit my head coach up. And it was even before that. Coach Wilson and my head coach, Coach Loman, they're old buddies. They grew up in the same town, so they're aware of each other. So he kind of started asking around about me. And when it came to March, I had my first phone call with Coach Wilson. We did tons of phone calls, tons of Zooms, um, all that stuff. And then it really led up to I was to the point where every time Coach Wilson would hit me up with a graphic saying to call him, I wasn't even thinking about offers or anything because we had such a great relationship and things like that. I was just excited about talking football. And then one day he hit me up with a graphic and I answered the phone and Coach Day is talking. And so my heart's racing and Coach Day ends up saying the official offer words. And that's really what made it special. And I said even before on previous interviews, before I had an offer from the Buckeyes, my relationship with Coach Wilson was going to make the offer, and it did make the offer so much more special than it would have just been he'd call him the first day and offering me. So, and ever since then, it's really been kicking off with them. And they're just a great school, top in the country, always a great quarterback. And I think Jeremy Ruckert and Luke Farrell are going to be playing at the next level in a couple of years. So,
I think that's interesting. As a tight end, the Buckeyes program, Benji, doesn't always get the same publicity that some others do because they don't always throw to the tight end as much. But if you look back and you see Jeff Hireman and Nick Barnett and Marcus Baugh and those guys are in the NFL, the likely scenario, as you mentioned, is that Luke Farrell and Jeremy Ruckert will be there in the next year or two as well. Is it hard as a recruit to sometimes see through the stuff like statistics or the mindset, I guess, of people saying, hey, they don't throw to the tight end, why would you go there, and still thinking, hey, I can be developed there in a different way?
yeah, I kind of have that thought process a little bit myself. But at the end of the day, I sometimes overthink it. Well, I'm not going to pay attention to this school because statistics has it that they don't throw to them that much. But then I realize I'm not that guy. I'm not a part of that statistic, and I'm going to bring it a different type of game than previous tight ends have brought. And a lot of people say that, but the statistics don't show it, but mine does. So I think about it, but at the end of the day, I'm just I'm my own person. If I'm good enough, they're going to find ways to get me the ball. And I sincerely believe that I'm going to work my butt off and be good enough to where they're going to want me to get me the ball.
Ohio State has a commitment from a tight end in the class of 2022 already. Each of the last two recruiting cycles in 2020 and 2021, they went into the cycle thinking that they were going to go after a pair of tight ends. Both times they only are bringing in one. In 2022, there's Bennett Christian committed, and they're still recruiting you as hard as they have for the last 7 months. How comfortable are you with the idea of being in a two-man class, and how has the relationship with Bennett probably actually helped Ohio State?
I'm completely comfortable with it. I think it's a good idea. We need a competition around a position. If you only have four people, and if you only bring one in, then those other tight ends and those other position groups and those other players, they don't feel motivated or they don't feel driven enough to try to beat people out. If you get in there and you're already second in the depth chart, that kind of makes you feel like you're entitled to something. And I mean, I don't want to go in there and there only be four people and one of them's a walk on. So I'm already third in the depth chart as a true freshman. I want to make myself compete. I want to be able to compete, and I want to earn my spot. So I like the idea of two tight ends. And with me and Bennett, he actually messaged me over Twitter might have been a couple months ago, August.
It was right before he was going to commit, right? Right before he was getting ready to commit to Ohio State.
Yeah, it was. I think it was. Might have like a week and a half before. And I think I had already knew that. But yeah, and ever since then, and now we're talking with each other daily and cracking jokes, and yeah, he always talks about Ohio State. It's helping him because he talks about with them a lot. Every day he'll text me and be like, "So when are you going to be a Buckeye? Are you already a Buckeye? I know you are," and stuff like that. So it's cool. It's fun.
So you are one of 12 children?
One of 13.
One of 13 children.
Yeah, one of 13.
So you have 8 brothers, 4 sisters. How on earth do you think that background is part of the reason why you see something and say, hey, I want to work to get it? Or I'm just trying to figure out how that, being raised that way. I'm one of 11 children myself. Like, how has that impacted the way that you are approaching the recruiting process?
Yeah. Growing up, I always we were raised tough, but I'm not saying that like we weren't shown affection or love or anything like that. But me and my brothers, we were brothers. We fought. We were, I think, like 11 people lived in the house at one point. So we shared rooms. We didn't really feel entitled to have our own bed or anything like that. But now that everybody's moved on, we have our own rooms and stuff like that. But yeah, it's kind of make me appreciate little things in life. Not I don't take anything for granted, and I work for what I got. Yeah, and I mean, even when we were younger, we were homeschooled up until 7th and 8th grade. And me and my brother Steven, and my other brother Timothy, we would try to get our mom asleep or on the phone. We'd go outside and play tackle football when we were 7 years old. So we grew up tough. We always had older brothers to humble us up. Even now, if we do something good and stuff, our older brothers will, keep us level and be like, "Nah, you suck. You're not good enough." So like, we have they're supportive and all that, but they keep us straight. They keep our head level.
One of your brothers, Steven, as you mentioned, is a freshman at North Carolina. And again, the Tar Heels are one of those top 3 schools for you. Him being there has allowed you. You're not playing football this fall, correct? You guys aren't playing.
Correct.
But so you've actually had an opportunity where recruits around the country haven't been able to make visits because your brother's at North Carolina. You've been able to go and see scrimmages and get that kind of stuff. How do you think that's? I guess I'm going to ask this in a 2-pronged way. Do you think that that's fair by the NCAA? And then on top of that, how has that impacted the relationship you have with the Tar Heels? Obviously, they want to keep you in the state.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I mean, the rule doesn't say family excluding family that are also recruits. I mean, I'm family. And, it's not like I get there and they show me around campus and I have a heyday with the coaches. I go there. I sit, if it's inside, I'll go in the top balcony in the indoor facility and I'll watch. If it's outside, I'll sit in Kenan Stadium and watch. They'll allow me to just say what's up to the coaches, but I mean, it's nothing a lot. I just watch there, and if Steven is free afterwards, me and him, and if anybody else came with me, we'll go out and hang out, and I'll just watch Steven. And yeah, it does give them an edge because I get to see what they do. I get to see what their game plan is for each week, so I kind of know what to expect to watch for that coming Saturday. And I've only done it twice, but each time I really enjoyed it. I've gotten to see what they do with tight ends. I've gotten to see what they do as a whole, as how they practice, how they operate, how Coach Brown runs his team. And I would say it definitely helps me understand them more.
So for a program like Ohio State and then like Florida, the other program that's still in your top 3, how do you and the family get an idea, or when do you think you get an opportunity to get a sense of what things are like in Columbus, Ohio? I mean, obviously, it's a different world in Columbus than Chapel Hill. What do you see that happening there as far as a visit being made to Columbus?
I'm not sure. I'm busy every weekend. I have a 7-on-7 tournament I do in Winston-Salem every Friday night. I'm out late then. On Saturday, I have a youth camp. Not youth camp. There's youth flag football going on around there. So me and another buddy, we help coach that every Saturday, and that's going to be going on for the foreseeable future. So I don't know when I'll be able to get up there, and school 2 times a week, online school 3 times a week. So I'm really not sure. And at first I was thinking, just I'll have to get up there before I make a decision. But if things restrictions with Corona and things like that don't allow me, then it's really not that big of a deal. But I would like to if I wasn't busy. Like if I wasn't busy, and if everything was normal, I probably would have already been up twice there, and during the summer and for a game.
Sure.
And same way with Florida, I would have already been a couple of times. So,
tell me about you as a coach, Benji. What is Coach Benji's offense in flag football?
well, we're coaching like 12-year-olds, and like I think one of the older guys. It's like the older guy, and then me and my two buddies. He made the plays up. There's like 6 plays and defensive plays, and we're coaching like 10 to 11-year-olds or 12-year-olds. I don't honestly know, but I kind of get ahead of myself. I try to teach them things that I'm learning in high school and what they teach in college, and then I catch myself and I'm like, these kids are 11, and I'm like, it's good, I guess. I guess I wish people would have taught me that when I was younger, but for the people that we are coaching, it kind of goes over their head. So I try to find ways to break it down into little pieces. Like if they're playing linebacker, I'll just say, instead of saying stay flat and don't shade or scrape, I'll be like, just run horizontally.
Right. Run straight.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm interested because when I first heard about you as a recruit, the comparison that I was given by people I talked to was that you actually reminded them of Pete Werner at Ohio State. As far as he's a linebacker, and then you see yourself. You're the country's number 11 ranked tight end. You've been a top priority at tight end for Ohio State. But athletically, you're 6'4", 225 pounds or whatever. Are you going to miss hitting people and playing linebacker?
I'm still going to hit people, but I guess I will. UNC is actually giving me. They actually initially their inside and outside linebacker recruited me and offered me, and Coach Brown has told me I could play linebacker for him if I wanted to, but I've already told them I'm going to play tight end wherever I go. So I will miss the defensive part of it and just cranking people, but no, rest assured that people are going to be on their backs when I block them.
I'm going to get a little off football here. As one of 13 children, what is your favorite family sit down meal that your mom makes or that you guys have?
Probably Christmas Eve. She makes these ham and cheese. I don't know how to. They're more than ham and cheese sandwiches, but it's like ham, cheese. Her mixture is like soy sauce and mustard, and it's like cheese and butter, and she sprinkles them on top, and there's little pepper things. It's super good. And then we'll also throw in shrimp, steak, and a bunch of other really good dishes that we only have once a year. And on Christmas Day, she'll make coffee cake, and that's a once a year type thing. So I always look forward to those 2 meals.
Fantastic. Look, man, I told you I'd get you out of here under 15 minutes. We're pressing up on that. So I want to thank you for your time. I'm sure we'll continue to hear more about you as you continue to be recruited by Ohio State. That is Benji Gosnell from North Carolina, class of 2022, tight end, major Ohio State target. I'm Jeremy Birmingham. This has been Birminology. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll catch you next time.